So if you're joining me, and I wanted to give a little bit of a review of this game. It's called The Sinking City. Before you go out and spend any, and I mean any, money on this game, I wanted to tell you what I thought about it real quick. First of all, the aesthetics of the game, beautiful. Let me get the good things out of the way first. Aesthetics of the game, beautiful. Somewhat repetitious. Somewhat. This bothered me. For those of you who don't know, which is probably majority, I don't talk about it that much. I have a degree in computer animation. This bothers me. Seeing the exact same asset models over and over and over. Every trash can in the game, which they use, is the exact same model. That bothers me. And I just randomly started up the game. This is not like planned or anything like that. This is me just randomly starting up the game. See that? The exact same thing. That bothers me. The feel of the game, for the most part, runs smooth. You know, you can run around at the movement. Well, there was a little jerky there. So, for the most part, a little bit smooth. The feel of the game, pretty good. The immersion of the game, there's the trash cans again. For the immersion of the game, would be good. The absolute immersion of the game would be good. You get a really creepy feel about this city that's going through things. I don't want to spoil it in case you want to actually ignore all my warnings and go out and play it for yourself. But the immersion of the game is pretty good. The feel of the game is pretty good. The overall aesthetics are pretty good. I like what they did in all these different aspects. The city, the town. If you love urban exploring, if you love that feel, if you love trying to solve mysteries, it's one of those games to where you have to do those things, and it's really good as far as that goes. If you like the mysticism and the religion of Cthulhu and all these things that are happening, it's really good as far as that goes. Very unique, very out the box. I'm wearing like the Plague Doctor outfit. It's not really how he looks. If you remember Which Way books or Choose Your Own Adventure books, you'll like the aesthetic part and the way the functions of this game work. I think that is about it. If you like trying to solve things, this game does a great job of that too. Okay, so this is the map. A great big area of the map. And everything that you see is available to go to. Now, with that being said, let me go to the case book. You know, you have these different... I have just beaten the game, by the way, and I won't spoil anything. And now I'll go to that until the negative side. But if you're looking at these and these features, you actually have to go to... Go back to the map. You actually have to go to the library, city hall. There's a library, newspaper, police department. You actually have to go to those places to find clues. It'll give you some kind of information, and you have to search the card catalog, the criminal records. This base of this game is kind of set 1920-ish, 1930s, I think, and you do have 1920 feels. In the beginning of the game, they go through, they go through a setting to where they give you a heads up and a warning that the things that happen in this time period are not necessarily great, but they wanted to include it for immersion, which I compliment that. There are racial epitaphs and moments that they have in this game. This kind of symbol being one of them, and what that stands for, I won't ruin that either. If you enjoy that kind of thing, it's a surprise. And they let you know. Thank you. It was included in the game for realism and the purposes and not to break the immersion of the world. Okay. Now on to the bad stuff. The game is broken. Absolutely broken. Loading screens pop up for a ridiculous amount of time for no reason whatsoever. When you're going in and out of certain buildings, you'll just get a blank screen. And it's just because you used fast travel to go from one point to the next. Loading the game up literally takes the amount of time for you to go make a sandwich. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you can literally go make a sandwich, go do whatever, and the game will still be on a loading screen to start up. It's ridiculous. It breaks all the immersion and the hard work that you're trying to do as a developer to make this happen. I do like you can go into random buildings like this. See, there's a thing. However, you go into places like this, you're going to run into monsters. Which, by the way, I just beat the game, and there's only 3 types of monsters through the entire game. 3. You could have done better. The monsters randomly spawn. I guess that's kind of a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because you never can prepare for anything. You never know anything that's going on. You never know any features whatsoever that's going to happen because everything's random. And I'm going to try to trigger one of these moments here. Just for, I guess, shits and giggles, if I haven't already beaten it. No, I would have already heard them by now. But yeah, literally the creatures just randomly spawn and appear for no reason whatsoever. The civilians in the game, the choices that you make in the game are actually morally conflicting. You don't know which one's right, which one's wrong, and based upon the city that has its own set of morals and standards. And I will say that is kind of confusing. It's interesting at first, you feel wrapped up in it, but by the first choice, when you make a decision of what you want to do, and you don't see any repercussions of it, it takes the sting out of the choices that you make. It more or less makes it the choices of the character you want to play, not the choices that you make. So, good job in the thought, and then fumble on the delivery. The random characters again. I'm gonna go in here because this is like random enemy drop central. You'll just be moving along, doing your own thing, salvaging. Salvaging is a thing, right? But whenever you kill an enemy that's actually shooting, see, look at that. What was that? I had to go back twice to get the same. It's broken. Whenever you randomly drop enemies like that, that's ridiculous. So they could have done better. They could have done better with that. Way better. Way better. They could have done better with that. With that. Now, I am in the end game kind of pursuit. I have played this game, like I said, I know what I'm doing now. I just did that to show you guys. The blue bar on the left hand of the screen is a unique feature. I should have mentioned that in the positives. The red bar is your health. The blue bar is your mental health. You see too much of that stuff, you kind of go crazy, and then you start having visions and hallucinations and all this other stuff. Great feature. Terrible when you have random spawns. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm trying to keep this and go as fast as I can, because I literally have somewhere else to be, and I'm not even supposed to be doing this right now. The game, like I said, aesthetically great. Loading screens, terrible, broken. Gunplay, The limited amount of guns doesn't bother me because of the time period. The free range, the free roam doesn't bother me. The fall off of the vision, pretty good, doesn't bother me. The multiple choice doesn't bother me, but it drops the ball in every aspect. To have such an epic villain waiting in the shadows of what you wanted to do, the loading screens and everything break the immersion of the game to the point that it really becomes undesirable. Just like right now when you're walking down the street to go pursue the next thing and go pursue the next thing, this is the feel of the entire game. This is it. This is everything that you're going to feel and experience in the entire game. Yes, that's it. And to prove a point even further, I'm going to try to make it to a fast travel point. Wherever there is one, it's on the other side. It's right there. I'm going to try to make it to a fast travel point and show you a loading screen. So even if you were immersed enough to enjoy this, which, don't get me wrong, like I said, me and my wife love the idea. We love the concept. We loved where they were going. And then we got to the point where we admittedly tried to do side quests more just to further expand and explore the world, and it didn't do anything. It literally went nowhere. Look at that loading. That broken, just absolutely broken. The ending, although there's 3 endings, they're all uneventful. There's no purpose to any of it. There's no final boss. There's no setup. There's no, just nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm just gonna teleport right here, okay? And I'm gonna show you this loading screen without any breaks, without any disruptions, without any, just terrible. The idea and the concept of the game, you have an Arkham Knight type of situation where you have to solve crimes, where you go into the visions and you get to solve the clues and look for different things. Great, but the rest of the game, why? Absolutely why it ruined the entire game for me. If you watch the trailer and then you watch this, see, if you watch the trailer and then you watch this, it ruins it. And that was a loading screen to go next to each other. The entire city is I can't rate this game. I was going to give it a 6. It's just enough to where you can feel like, hey, you know what? This is a pretty decent opportunity. This is a pretty decent thing. And then it doesn't go anywhere. And then the ending, like this, there's the loading again. Breaking. It gives you just enough to say, hey, you know what, this is awesome, and this could be great, this could be this could be that, and then it stops. What is that? It stops dead in its tracks, like breaking, right there again. Just randomly walking into an open door. Broken. I don't know what the purpose of that was, or the way the game is set up. Like I said, I could go into this over and over and over with different things and pick this game apart. Every asset model looking the same, every room, every house kind of looking the same, resembling the same functions, same build, same style. I could go into a lot, but I won't, and I won't waste your time. Overall, like I said, at best I would have given it a 6, but in good conscience, in the gameplay, in the ending, which there is no end game. There's no end game. There's no game plus the loading screen. It's ridiculous. There's no game plus. After you beat the game, I had to start up a different save point just to come back into the city. You don't get any extra items, you don't get any extra game plus features, you don't get any rewards, you don't get anything. You do all of this, and trust me, it's probably take you about 10-15 hours, and it doesn't hold your hand. The tutorial system, let me show you this. I can't even show you that. I can't even show you how the map goes. It's they give you a how to play feature, and it actually ruins the game. It doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you where to go. It doesn't tell you you have to sit there and solve everything, which is okay if you're a detective, which is what they're trying to do. However, when you're doing it, this you're gonna love this. I randomly stumbled onto this. This is in a mission. You're gonna love this. So, to give you an idea of what I said about certain racial modes. Yeah. Yep. So, let's go into the basement and end the video here. So on that note, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's an unfair ending for me to say it this way, but I will say this. It didn't distract from the game, and they kind of warn you. It was done in a way, at least, it was done in a way to where you understood. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. I'm just going to leave it at that. Enough of the game has been ruined without any additional features. The game has been ruined. You had a great idea and you dropped it. You absolutely dropped it. So,